In this video, I'm going to give you 9 AI prompts that you can use with ChatGPT or Claude to actually grow your business. Let's begin. Prompt number 1 is a page to rescue prompt. You probably have a lot of pages that are ranking 8 or position 8 to let's say 20 in Google search. That means they're getting very limited impressions, but they might just have little optimization in them where you can just push them over the edge to start getting impressions. That's what the prompt is about. For this, you can use ChatGPT or Claude. ChatGPT gives a decent output, but if your CSV, which I'm going to discuss, has over 200 lines, then use Claude because it does work better. And here's what you need to do first. First, you have to gather the information. So what I would recommend is go to Google Search Console, go to the Performance tab, go to the Queries tab. Set the date range to last 90 days and apply some filters. Position greater than 8 and less than 20, plus impressions greater than 100. That means the pages that have actually gotten impressions rather than 0 impressions. Then sort by impressions descending. So you have the highest impressions page first. Export the top 100 rows, or if you can export the most of the rows as CSV. And then you'll have the query, top page URL, position, impressions, click-through rate, or clicks and CTR in a CSV file. So once you have the data, this is the prompt that you have to use with your CSV file. You are an experienced SEO consultant. I'm going to share my Google Search Console queries report below. The data has been filtered to show only queries where my pages are ranking in positions 8 to 20, page 2 territory, over the last 90 days with at least 100 impressions per query. For each query, please identify whether the search intent matches my page type, informational, commercial, comparison, transactional. Tell me what's likely structurally missing on my page versus what's typically ranking in the top 10 for this type of query. Recommend the single most impactful change I could make. Rewrite the title for intent shift, add a comparison table, add a FAQ schema, restructure as a listicle, and prioritize the list by impact. The keywords with the most impressions and the smallest position to page 1 gap should be on the top. For each entry, give me the keyword, the URL ranking for it, current position, monthly impressions, intent classification, and the recommended fix in 1 to 2 sentences. Here's my data. And then you actually paste your CSV or add the CSV there. Let me show you how it works or do a live demo of this. So for this example, I'm going to use ChatGPT. I've created some sample data. The exact prompt that I just mentioned has been pasted in ChatGPT, and I'm on the Go plan, which is exclusive to India. So it's not a pro plan, but it's not a free plan. So your results might vary. So I would recommend that for any query that requires web search and extensive data analysis, at least have the pro plan. Okay. So I've also attached the CSV for this test. Let's run the prompt and see how it works. And in under 1 minute, we have this extensive set of data. Look at this. It's given us the keyword, the URL ranking, monthly impressions, which are estimated, and also what the intent is, and then how we can fix our website in a full table. And you can look at this. It's a pretty informational fix, and it's also given us a focus list on what we can do. So if you go to your website now and start implementing these changes, you should get better rankings. And one of the best things you can do is use all-in-one SEO. All-in-one SEO has some amazing features that can make this job easier for you. For example, if you see here, it has an AI content feature. Basically, it's an AI suite. So think about ChatGPT or Claude, but it works on your WordPress website. So what you can do is ask the assistant to do anything. You can ask it to find more questions, write FAQ schema, update the article, add new subheadings, rewrite the paragraphs. So you can use AI directly on your website as well. Both work perfectly fine. But the AI assistant has been quite useful. I've been using it quite a lot on my websites. Very powerful. All right, that's the first prompt that you can use to improve your rankings and get more business. The next one is a content decay detector. A lot of times you don't realize that your rankings or average rankings for certain pages is actually dropping in search. But because you don't panelize the data over time, you actually miss those opportunities and opportunities for fixing it and improving the rankings. And that is what this prompt fixes. Once again, we'll need some data. So I want you to go back to your Google Search Console, go to Performance, go to Pages tab, set date range to 90 days, then toggle compare to previous 90 days, apply filter, click current greater than 50 because we don't want to compare pages with no traffic. So we'll skip the pages with no traffic to lose. And export that comparison as a CSV. And of course, you have page URL, clicks, which are current, clicks previous, and percentage change over time in the performance data. And the model you can use for this prompt is the same. You can use ChatGPT or Claude. If you have the pro version, that is recommended. So if you have the pro version for ChatGPT, but not for Claude, then I would recommend using ChatGPT. Basically, it requires, or data analysis requires some more processing power. So the model with the pro access or whatever pro subscription you have will be more useful. And here's the prompt you have to use. You're a content strategist who specializes in reviving declining blog content. I'm going to share a comparison report from Google Search Console showing the last 90 days versus the previous 90 days for my blog. The data has been filtered to pages that have at least 50 clicks in the current period, so we're not looking at noise. For each page that's declined in click volume, please calculate the absolute click loss, current clicks minus previous clicks, Hypothesize the most likely cause of decline based on the URL slug and the magnitude of decline, outdated stats, lost serve features, intent shift, freshness issue, year stale title, etc. Write a brief refresh checklist, the specific things I should update or rewrite to recover the lost traffic, and sort the output by absolute click loss, not percentage. Because blog posts with small percentage drops often represent more recoverable traffic than small posts with big traffic drops or big percentage drops. For each entry, give me URL, clicks lost, clicks current versus previous, likely cause in one sentence, and a refresh checklist, 3 to 5 specific bullet points. And here is my data. Once again, I'm using ChatGPT as an example. I'm on the Glow plan, and this is the prompt already pasted with the CSV already attached. Let's run the prompt. And in just under 30 seconds, we have an extensive list of data. You can see here, highest priority refreshes, where more than 500 clicks were lost, a full table on where to work on, and the refresh checklist, year-based post, action plan, checklist, and also the tier 2, the medium priority, where number of clicks lost is not that high. Same full table with a refresh focus and tier 3 as well. Pretty useful prompt, a lot of interesting data. Definitely use it. The next prompt is very useful for lifting your CTR. If your pages get ranked, but they don't actually get clicked, that is a symptom of a problem. That means Google thinks your pages are good enough, but users don't actually find it interesting to click through. That means you need a better title and a better meta title or meta description. This prompt will actually fix it. For this prompt, you can use ChatGPT or Claude. I'm going to demonstrate with Claude, but let's first gather the right data. Once again, go to your Google Search Console, go to Performance, go to Pages tab, set date range to last 90 days and apply these filters. Position less than 10 and impressions greater than 500. That means the ranking is getting well and they are getting seen. Export the top 20 rows as CSV. Then required columns would be URL, impressions, click, CTR, average position. And the manual addition can be that open each URL in a tab and then copy the current title, tag, and meta description for each post, and you can paste it in the CSV. This will be manual work, but this is going to be very useful. And then we'll use the prompt. The prompt is, you are a senior SEO copywriter who specializes in writing high CTR title tags and meta descriptions. I'm going to share data for my top 20 ranking pages from Google Search Console along with their current title tags and meta descriptions. For each page, compare the actual CTR to the expected CTR for that average position. Position 1 typically gets 25 to 35, position 3 gets 8 to 12, position 5 gets 4 to 6%, and position 10 gets usually 1 to 2%. Flag pages where actual CTR is significantly below the expected range, these are the underperformers. For each underperformer, rewrite both the title tag, 60 characters max, and the meta description, 155 characters max, to be more click-worthy. Your rewrite should include add a specific benefit or number when possible, match the search intent of the keyword, stay within character limits, don't get truncated, avoid generic phrasing like learn how or discover how, the ultimate guide to. For each underperforming page, give me a URL, the current title versus rewritten title, current meta versus rewritten meta, one page rationale for why the rewrite should improve CTR, and now the data. So I've pasted the prompt in Claude and I'm on the Pro plan. So I'm using Sonnet 4.6 with low effort if that matters. But if you have a Pro plan, you can use Opus or any other model. The current one is 4.8 as I'm recording this. Let's test it out. So Claude is actually asking me a few questions to clarify what the intent of my audience is. This is actually good. Let's fill this based on some assumptions. For the first question, I'm going to answer both equally. Since this is sample data, I'm going to assume that the blog who's writing this offers dog grooming as a service. So I'm going to select offers grooming service. And for the tone and voice, I'm going to go with authoritative and expert. So Claude is asking one more question, which is actually great. I'm going to go with the stay informational trust-based approach. And Claude has gone all the way and created a full, well-designed report for us. So you can see here, it's giving me the number of pages that is audited, the underperformers and slightly low worth monitoring and on target. And for every page that has an underperformance, it's giving me a full report. What's the current tag, meta description, what should be the rewrite, and why. And it looks beautiful. Now you can use this report to actually enhance the content on your website. Let me show you how and where to do it and some twist on how you can do it easily. So what you want to do is actually change the meta titles and descriptions. And you can do that with all-in-one SEO. So all you have to do is just go to the general tab. And inside this, you will see a SERP preview for your desktop and mobile. If you scroll down, you'll see this is where the post title is. So you can rewrite the post title. You can use the smart tags or just write the entire title. This is where the meta description lives. And this is where the focus keyword lives. Now, you can also use 2 additional features in all-in-one SEO to make your job easier. What you can also do is just go to the AI suite here and ask it to actually write the meta descriptions. AI SEO also uses AI to actually write this, so you can actually do that. Or you can also use the headline analyzer to actually check your headline score, because the headline is the most important part of the actual, let's say, metric. Because the first thing that people see on the page when they're seeing the SERPs is the meta title, which is basically the headline. So you can use these features in all-in-one SEO in conjunction with the data that Claude gives you to actually optimize your blog post and get higher rankings. The next prompt is very useful for capturing leads. Most people, when they capture leads, they have a generic pop-up or maybe just a sign up for my newsletter or contact us page. But the strategy has to be dependent on the page content itself. If people are looking for dog grooming services, then the message to market or message to user has to be more specific, and that is what this prompt will help you achieve. For this prompt, you can use ChatGPT or Claude. I'm going to demonstrate with Claude, but first, let's gather some data. So you can gather the data in two ways. If you have under 30 pages on your website, then just take the entire full sitemap as a URL list. So copy the contents of the sitemap, and that becomes your data source. But if you have large sites, like for example, you have hundreds of pages, then go to your Google Analytics and see the top 15 to 20 pages. Then go to reports and then go to engagement, pages and screens, last 30 days sorted by views. And then required columns would be URL, page title, sessions, average engagement time, and bounce rate. Plus one line on what your business does and who buys from you. So you have to write this yourself, download the CSV, and use this prompt in the LLM of your choice. You are a conversion rate expert who specializes in turning website traffic into email subscribers and leads. I'm going to share my top pages or full sitemap below along with a description of what my business does. For each page, classify the visitor's likely intent based on the URL slug and page type: informational, comparison or research, commercial, navigational, conversion ready. Recommend the best type of lead capture campaign for that page. Choose from exit intent lightbox, scroll triggered slide in, floating bar at top, inclined content upgrade, page takeover, welcome mat, two-step button triggered pop-up. Recommend the best offer mechanic for this page. Choose from lead magnet, PDF, checklist, template, discount, coupon code, free tool calculator, free trial, exclusive content access, email only deal, and write the actual copy for the campaign, the headline, the subheadline, button text, and a single trust line. For example, free, no credit card, unsubscribe anytime. The matching actually matters. A high intent pricing page shouldn't get the same campaign as a top of the funnel blog post. Be specific about why each recommendation fits the page type. For each page type, give me a URL plus page type classification, recommended campaign time plus one line reasoning, recommended offer plus one line reasoning, headline, subheadline, button text, and trust line. And here's one line about my business. And with this prompt, let's attach the actual data and let's get to work. So the prompt is pasted with the actual content, and I'm still using Sonnet 4.6 with low effort. Let's run the prompt. So I've answered these questions based on some assumptions. You can take a pause and look at the answers I've given, and I'm going to run the prompt now. Claude is asking us more questions. Let's answer them. So I've answered the questions. Let's run the prompt. And once again, Claude has done a fabulous job, completely designed the report in a visual manner. Let's look at it. So it's given us the top of the funnel where we can do things: campaign type, offer type, and campaign copy. And it's completely done the job for us. Same for all the different pages that we have given it in this session. Amazing. And this can be very, very powerful to have on your website. Let me also show you how you would build this, because now you have the data on what campaign to build. But what are the tools you can use to build the campaign? Let me show you one of the recommendations that I would probably give you that can actually fulfill all these tasks. So the tool I would recommend that you use to actually implement these campaigns on your website is OptinMonster. It's a SaaS-based solution, so it doesn't matter which platform you're on. If you're using WordPress, it works. If you're using any other platform, it works. You just have to add one small script to your website. And the best part is that it gives you a lot of different campaign types, which can be beneficial depending on the context of the page. So if you go to the features, you can see the features. If for the solutions, you can see solutions. And if you see the campaign types, there are different kinds of campaigns. You have pop-up campaigns, you have specific targeting for e-commerce, targeting based on personalization, triggers, etc., etc. So you can do a lot of different campaign types. You can exit intent, floating bars, page level targeting, geo level targeting, gamified wheels, timers, pop-ups, and tons of integration. So this is my personal recommendation, that if you look at the report and see the different type of campaigns that Claude has recommended, or ChatGPT in your case, then you can use OptinMonster to actually implement these campaigns on your site. And OptinMonster connects with every email provider of your choice. So you can connect with your email provider, send automations, and do whatever you like. Very easy to implement and highly recommended. So this prompt can actually tie into the previous prompt. Now you have the campaigns, but you also need what information to be sent, right? Somebody downloads your email or lead magnet, then what next? So this prompt will help you actually define what to do next if somebody downloads your lead magnet. For this prompt, you have to have your entire blog post as the context. So that's the information. You also need to provide your audience. So basically something about your ICP and something about you sell. That's the information you need. And for this one, I would not recommend that you use any free AI tools. Claude can work, but ChatGPT has a very small context window if you use the free version. So whatever pro version you use, That's recommended. If you have Claude Pro, that's the best solution, which I'm going to use right now. And here's the prompt you can use. You are an email marketing strategist who specializes in writing welcome sequences that convert readers into customers. The reader who is about to resolve or receive this sequence just finished reading my blog post, full text included below, and downloaded a lead magnet attached to that post. I want you to write a 4 email sequence that extends the conversation that the blog post started. Not a generic welcome to my newsletter series. The reader cared enough about the topic of this blog post to give us the email, so we should keep delivering value on that topic and gradually warm them towards our offer. For each email, give me send timings, immediate day 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, subject line, preview text, full body copy, so warm conversational tone, write it like a person, not a brand, and a clear call to action. And the sequence structure I want is email 1, which should be immediate, deliver the lead magnet, plus brief intro of who I am, plus tease what's coming next. Next, email 2 is day 2, share a specific story or insight that goes one level deeper than the blog post. Email 3 that can go on day 4, educate on related problems which the reader probably also has, and soft CTA to a relevant resource. Email 4 is soft pitch to my offer, framed as the natural next step for someone who cared about this topic. And about my business, this is the information we add, and about my audience, the information you add, and the blog post. So this is the entire prompt. Let's paste it into ChatGPT or Claude. I'll use Claude and see how it works. So I've pasted the entire prompt into Claude, and instead of the blog post, since Claude, in at least the subscription I'm using, has web access, it can actually fetch the content itself. If your subscription doesn't support it, you can copy and paste the entire blog post. I've also given the screenshot of the lead magnet that's active on the page so that it has complete context. Let's run the prompt. So Claude has asked us some clarifying questions. Let's answer the questions and then proceed. So I've answered the questions. Let's run the prompt. 2 more questions. Let's answer them and proceed. So Claude has gone all the way and written an entire document for us. Let's review it. So what it's done is written a complete document. This is the email 1. This is email 2. This is email 3, which goes on day 4, and complete doc file. So now you have the exact emails that you can send after someone downloads your lead magnet and capture the email and send them the lead magnet. Also, Claude has given us all the details here. You can actually look at this and download the docx file. So it's pretty awesome, right? The next prompt is a keyword and content gap finder. You might be writing great content, but if you're not targeting the right keywords, then you're still not going to rank, or at least the opportunity that you're losing is pretty high. So this prompt helps you understand that have you covered very important keywords in your niche in the top highest ranking blog post on your website. And if not, it gives you the opportunities and tells you that hey, these are the keywords you should be optimizing your content for. Let's go. So for this prompt, you can use ChatGPT or Claude both. You'll need some sort of, I'd say, web fetch because we're going to add a sitemap URL, or you can just download the top 30 pages from your website as well in terms of URLs. But whatever model you choose needs to access the website, or web search should be available. That's the thing. So the data that you need to gather is pretty simple. You can either give it just your sitemap, but if you have a lot of content, then select the top 50 blog posts that you have in your website that are the most traffic blog posts. So just sort the links of your website. You can go to Google Analytics, download that search report, and that becomes your input to the prompt. And here's the prompt. You are an SEO content strategist. I'm going to give you my sitemap or my top 30 or 50 published blog posts below. Your job is to identify keyword and content gap opportunities I haven't covered yet based on the patterns that I have published. Specifically, look at the post titles and identify the topic clusters my site already covers. That is weeknight dinners, freeze prep, kitchen techniques. List the cluster with the post count in each. For each cluster, name 3 to 5 subtopics that are logical extensions but appear to be missing from my sitemap. These should be topics a reader on my existing post would naturally want next. Also flag any obvious adjacent clusters I haven't entered at all. Topics that my audience would care about but I have zero coverage on. For each suggested new topic, propose a working post title and one-liner reason of why it fits my site. Be specific. Don't say more on SEO. Say internal linking strategy or pillar pages 2026 guide or something similar. And about my audience, I'm going to share some details and also my sitemap here. So I've pasted the prompt here and I've given the URL of the website, a sample website, and also the XML sitemap, given the details about the audience and what they're trying to achieve. Let's run the prompt. So it's given us an excellent report on the content gap analysis. So soup and stews, because this is a recipe kind of blog, 28 posts, 4 gaps, salads, 35 posts, 4 gaps, breakfast, 40 posts, 4 gaps. And the entire thing is very well designed. So you can see here what meal planning systems, adjacent clusters with zero coverage. So these are the kind of keywords that this blog post or this blog hasn't even covered. So no nutritional explainers, no meal planning systems, no cooking technique guides, no grocery or shopping guides, and no feeding others guides. So these are real opportunities that this blog has to expand this. And you can get this report using the prompt I mentioned in the same way. Let's look at the rest of the report. All more details, and apart from this, Claude is asking more questions. So even with just a simple prompt, we have identified key important opportunities that are inside the cluster and also clusters that are completely not covered. Let's look at the next prompt. This one's pretty good too, right? So the next prompt is an FAQ gap analysis. A lot of content that you write has a lot of different FAQs that are missing. That is questions that users want answers to, but that's not covered on your blog. So by mining search reports and search queries, we can get those questions and then add those questions to your blog post using the prompts. So for this example, you can again use Claude or ChatGPT. I'm going to use Claude once again. Let's gather some information first. So to gather information, you can go to your Google Search Console, go to Performance, and go to Queries tab. Set the date range to last 6 months. Longer window will have more question variations that will be cached. And use the search filter to find queries containing question words. You may need to run this multiple times. So filter for queries containing how, what, why, then, can, then is, then should, does, and export each batch and combine. And then this requires total of a few columns. So query, top pages, the URL, impressions, and then combine the report into a single CSV before you paste it. So once you have the data, this is the prompt you use. You are an SEO content writer who specializes in capturing featured snippets, and people also ask placements through well-structured FAQ content. I'm going to share a filtered Google Search Console export below. These are all queries my site has received impressions for in the last 6 months that contain question words: how, what, why, can, is, should, does, etc. And your job is to group these questions into queries by topic. The group should roughly correspond to the existing blog post on my site. Use the landing page URL column to help. For each topic group, write a clean schema-ready FAQ section, a list of 4 to 7 Q&A pairs that directly answer the most common question variations. For each Q&A pair, the answer should be 40 to 60 words, long enough to answer fully, short enough to potentially become a feature snippet, and then tag each group with a URL it should be added to. Format each FAQ section so I can copy and paste it directly into my website or my page's FAQ block. And here's the data. So I've added the prompt to Claude, also added the FAQ CSV file that I have, and I'm using Sonnet 4.6 with low effort. Let's run the prompt. So Claude asked me some questions. I've answered them. Let's run the prompt. Couple more questions by Claude. I've answered them. Let's go. So the FAQ section is ready. Let's take a look. So it's given me FAQ sections for 9 groups and all the FAQs designed as FAQs. I can copy the FAQ pairs and add them to the right blog post. And these are FAQ sections for specific blog posts. So I can copy them, paste them, or look at the individual ones, copy and paste them using the FAQ block in All-in-One SEO. It's that easy. And let me tell you also a secret feature which might be even more useful when doing this. So if you're using All-in-One SEO Pro on your website and you purchase some AI credits, you can actually do this right inside All-in-One SEO. That's the powerful feature. So let me show you. I can just click here on Generate FAQs and just do the tone and audience, and it'll scan the blog post automatically and suggest new FAQs directly. So let's do that. Try it. So in just a second, All-in-One SEO has recommended correct FAQs based on the blog content itself. And all I have to do is I can select these one by one. I can copy them or I can regenerate them if I like. But if I click Insert FAQ blocks, they'll be added to my blog post in the right manner. That means these are actually FAQ blocks. So if I go to the post section here, so you can see here that this is an FAQ block. That means not only will this content show up on the blog post, but this will be added to the metadata of your website as well. So you can use the Claude version, which is a prompt, or you can use All-in-One SEO. Both work great. The next idea is a lead magnet idea generator. You have a blog post already, but what lead magnet would be best suitable? So this prompt helps you find that lead magnet. The information you need is pretty simple. You need a link or list of your blog posts and also your business and who and what you sell to. And then the prompt, here it is. You're a conversion expert who has launched dozens of lead magnets for online businesses. I wanted to generate 10 lead magnet ideas tailored to my audience. For each idea, name the lead magnet, be specific, not checklist for X, but the 22-point pre-launch checklist for your first online store. That's specific. Format, PDF, swipe file, template, free tool, mini course, video, etc. The promise, the one specific outcome the reader gets from consuming it. Effort to create, rated 1 out of 5. So 1 is a couple of hours and 5 is a serious project. And expected conversion strength, rate 1 out of 5 for, and 1 is generic and 5 is resistible for the audience. Then rank all 10 by impact versus effort. The one I should build first should be at the top. The lead magnet should solve a specific narrow problem, not everything you need to know about X. Be deliverable as a single asset, not a 10-day email course unless it's clearly the best fit. And match the kind of person who would buy what I sell, not freebie hunters. About my business and the information or what I publish is listed below. So for this particular prompt, I'd request you to use ChatGPT. It's better at delivering or thinking about creative ideas. So that's the recommended model I'd use. I've already added the prompt and a specific list of URLs in the prompt. So let's run the prompt. So ChatGPT has done a fabulous job very quickly. So here's the lead magnet ideas ranked by impact versus effort. So the first lead magnet it suggests is in the flavor builder cheat sheet. Effort is low and conversion strength is high. Second is 7 days of planned forward dinners. So done for you plan. The third is what's for dinner formula, restaurant flavor pantry guide, waste-free produce planner, former chef's global sauce collection, healthy dinner generation tool, planned forward meal prep blueprint, seasonal produce cooking guide, and immune support kitchen recipe pack. Pretty awesome, and it's very, very fast. ChatGPT usually works fast. So these are great lead magnet ideas that you can actually start creating on your website by just this one single prompt. The next prompt is an affiliate link opportunity finder. A lot of blog posts on your website might be making more revenue if you just added affiliate links, just natural fits. So this prompt will help you identify those opportunities and tell you how to add them. For this example, you can use ChatGPT or Claude. Both work equally well. I'll use ChatGPT. The information you need is pretty simple. A top 15 to 20 blog posts that you recommended or created with the actual titles and some information about your audience, what you sell, and your business. What you sell is not required because we're going to sell or redirect people to affiliate products. So that part you can skip out. And once you have the information, here's the prompt to use. You are an affiliate marketing strategist who specializes in monetizing content sites without making them feel spammy. I'm going to share my top 15 blog post titles plus one-line topics plus URLs below, plus a line about my audience. For each post, do the following. Score the affiliate fit on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 is obvious, high revenue affiliate opportunity. 1 is pure informational and storytelling, weak product hook. And 0 is skip entirely, that is about our contact page. For post scoring 3+, recommend 2 to 4 specific products that would fit naturally. Name the actual brands or product categories the audience would genuinely want, not just generate a good X. For each recommended product, tell me where in the post to insert the link. Be specific that in the tools list near the top, it's at the step 3 section while describing the soil mix, in a comparison table at the end, and flag any post where adding affiliate links would hurt the reader experience. That is a personal essay, controversial opinion piece, and explain why to leave them alone. Sort the final output from highest affiliate fit score to the lowest, so I know which post to retrofit first for the fastest revenue lift. For each entry, give me post title plus URL, affiliate fit score, recommended products, placement notes per product, and any leave it alone warnings. I've included information about my audience, niche, and my top 15 blog posts below. So I've added the full information into ChatGPT. Let's run the prompt. And in just a few seconds, ChatGPT has given us all the detailed affiliate links that we can add to our website. Let's review them. So we have the best drip irrigation kits for raised beds. This is the roundup post, and the recommendation says that affiliate score is 5 out of 5, and the recommended products is Rain Bird Drip Irrigation Kit, DIG Drip Irrigation Starter Kit, Orbit Drip Irrigation Kit, Smart Hose Timer. So all these products can be naturally fitted this, and it has given this extended report for all the different blog posts. And by just implementing these on your website, if you have a similar blog post, and you can start generating a lot more affiliate revenue just by following these recommendations. So that's it for this video, friends. Hope you'll enjoy these prompts. I'll try to include the prompts links in the description so you can copy and paste them. Otherwise, you can take screenshots, and we'll come up with more of these amazing ideas on the W Beginner channel. So make sure that you've subscribed and you like, share, and do all that good jazz. Leave a comment if it's a video idea if you have, and I'll see you in the next video. You're watching Raj from W Beginner YouTube channel. Take care.